Shalom family. So I thought today let's talk about something fun. Let's talk about Jericho and just encourage you with some facts. So ancient Jericho has long been identified with Tel Es Sultan, which is like a little hillock type area. The site, situated 22 kilometers or 14 miles northeast of Jerusalem and 9 kilometers, 5.5 miles west of the southern end of the Jordan River, was one of the first sites in the Holy Land to be excavated. Interesting, because it's one of the first sites to be conquered. Jericho is famous in the biblical account as the city whose walls came tumbling down after the Israelites marched around it for 7 days. And I'm going to get into that in a separate video because it's really encouraging and there's a lot of connections with those numbers and the times we're living in. Archaeological excavation of the site revealed a powerful early mid-2nd millennium BCE Bronze Age fortress. Named strategically as City 4, the ruins are elevated on top of an approximately 5-meter tall, 16 feet, stone revetment, atop of which once stood a powerful mud brick city wall up to 4 meters, 13 feet tall. Now, notably, this mud brick wall was found to have collapsed flat out and around the city, covered by a heavy layer of ash, proving the Bible correct. The biblical text identifies 3 in particular that suffered a fiery demise: Jericho, Ai, and Hazor. And they burnt the city, Jericho, with fire and all that was therein. Joshua 6:24. So Joshua burnt Ai and made it a heap. Joshua 8 verse 28. And he burnt Hazor with fire. Joshua 11:11. Now, British archaeologist Professor John Garstang, 1876 to 1956, was one of the most prominent early excavators of Jericho, working at the site from 1930 to 1936. Now, for him, the destruction of City 4, which he dated to circa 1400 BCE, constituted unequivocal evidence of the account described in the book of Joshua in the Bible. To Garstang, the most notable feature was the nature of the collapsed city walls. Unlike in a normal conflagration in which a besieged city's walls would be breached inwards, Jericho's city wall had fallen outwards, piling up against everything on the bottom and providing them with a way to get into the city. An incline was formed. Not only did the picture of collapse accord with the biblical count of the fallen walls, the piling of bricks created the means for all those Israeli troops to rush in to Jericho. It fits the Bible perfectly. The wall fell down flat so that the people went up into the city, every man straight before him, and they took the city. Joshua 6 verse 20. If it was man and not God, they would have had to break the wall and it would have gone inwards. But this wall, massive wall, so wide that people lived within the wall, fell outwards. God. What then could account for so stupendous a catastrophe, Garstang wrote in the story of Jericho in 1940. No evidence of intentional undermining of the walls were discovered. The stone revetments supporting the bricks were largely in place. One conclusion seems certain. The power that could dislodge hundreds of tons of masonry in the way described must have been superhuman. Earthquake is the one and only known agent capable of the demonstration of force indicated by the observed facts. The evidence of the site itself, as revealed by excavations, points incontestably to the solution. Interesting, right? Now, Dame Kathleen Kenyon, 1906 to 1978, was an extremely influential and highly regarded British archaeologist, especially known for her excavations in the Holy Land, particularly Jericho in the 50s and Jerusalem in the 60s. She described the collapse of the walls as seeming to have taken place before they were affected by the fire, suggesting an earthquake prior to the burning, which makes biblical sense because God would have made the walls fall flat, they would have rushed in and sacked the city, and then they would have burnt it with fire. So even the order of events archaeologically prove the Bible is correct. Jericho's most recent excavations were accomplished by a joint Italian-Palestinian team led by Professor Lorenzo Nigro. Nigro, Nigro, generally maintains Kenyon's date for the destruction of Jericho, but roundly rejects everything that's been said about the historicity of the biblical account. Go figure. Great archaeologists with great CVs and backgrounds have said it categorically proves the Bible, but the Palestinian rejects any connection to a biblical event. Are we surprised? God is amazing, and he keeps showing that everything in the Word of God, everything is true. You will get people like this Palestinian that disagree with God, though. Good luck to him. Shalom.